know it ain't minute like 6 though. Never need an intro. Yeah, even through the talk and all the chatter, I can show them that I know my family matters like a Winslow. Outdoors smoking Indo.
Well, do I have a video for y'all today? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's weird hearing my voice like this when you're usually just seeing, like title cards and stuff, but bear with me. Today I'll be doing anyways, my own predictions on the upcoming NFL season. And disclaimer, all my opinions could be wrong, like they always are. I'm not expecting to be right about everything. This is just how I think I should say the season will go, how each team will stack up, what will the record be, what teams will make the playoffs, and what team I'm choosing to win the Super Bowl this year or make the Super Bowl. I said all of this will be opinion based. I'll be going off how teams played last year, what teams did in the offseason to get better, who they lost, who they drafted, and just basically that's it, honestly. So sit back, relax. It's gonna be a little longer video, and if you don't agree with me, then make your own damn video. To start off this video, we'll be looking at the NFC South, so the Saints, Buccaneers, Panthers, and Falcons. And we'll start off with the New Orleans Saints, my personal favorite team. Very quiet 9-8 season last year. A lot of injuries. This team faced a lot of injuries last year, and that's what really hurt this team in the long run. Losing your starting quarterback week 7, going from Trevor Siemian to Ian Book to Taysom Hill, it really demoralized the team in a way you could really tell, having 78 different starters around the whole offense, defense, special teams. Let's say injuries played a big part, but at the end of the day, they're all NFL players. They're there for a reason. They're there when they're needed. So I really don't like to use injuries as an excuse. But, last season, you could tell, the injury bug played this team very, very much. But anyways, going into this season, Jameis Winston is looking healthy, recovering from his ACL tear. Should be ready to go by week 1 of the new season. Michael Thomas also should be ready to go by week 1 of the new season. He's looking good in training camp, running routes easier, crispier, looking good, looking like his old self. Also, the additions of Chris Olave and Jarvis Landry will help this team a lot. This team's receiver room last year consisted of Marquez Callaway, Deontay Harris, and Kevin White as our top 3 receivers. You could see how much of a difference that is between Michael Thomas bringing in Jarvis and Chris Olave. There's a clear-cut difference, and I'm glad the Saints addressed the wide receiver room this offseason because it was definitely most needed. Again, though, we did have some departures. Marcus Williams, a very underrated safety who I didn't want to let walk, but the team felt the need to let him go. He did get paid elsewhere. I'm proud for him. I'm happy for him. Well-deserved because he's a very good safety. Teron Armstead, he left. Very good left tackle for us. Very good Phil. You could tell he really understands the game of football. He knows the blitzes. He knows what he's doing. He'll thrive in Miami with Tua in that offense. That was definitely needed for them. But then the Saints draft Trevor Penning in the place of Teron Armstead. I loved him at Northern Iowa. I think he'll be a good rookie coming in. I believe, he can do what must be needed to help this offensive line thrive because the Saints do have a top 5 offensive line, I would say. A lot of bright spots, but a lot of gray areas as well. But the additions of Marcus May and Tyrann Mathieu are really going to help this defense. Tyrann Mathieu, he's an excellent defensive leader, can come in, get the defense right, like Cam Jordan does on the defensive line, like Demario Davis does in the middle of the field. Tyrann will boost this secondary very, very well. And Marcus May, also a great defender, can play the ball really well, great zone coverage, and he can also play the run really, really well. So I'm glad the Saints addressed the secondary as well. We got three of the best leaders at each position. Demario in the middle, Tyrann up top, Cam Jordan on that defensive line. And of course, the young corners, Marshawn Lattimore and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, along with Paulson Adebo. Tyrann Mathieu will be able to help them a lot, even though they don't play the same position. But having that leader presence in the locker room will make a huge difference for this entire team. And I do believe this team will be better than they were last year. I'm not trying to say, this team will be Super Bowl bound. I'm not gonna be a biased fan about this. I'm gonna be realistic about my personal record for them and how they'll do. Now that we covered all the additions, the moves the Saints made this offseason, let's go over their schedule. So week 1, we opened the first 3 weeks against division rivals. All right, they're all division rivals, but however, start against the Falcons. I do believe we always beat the Falcons at least once a year. We'll take that. The Buccaneers, we always play the Buccaneers tough. They always play us tough. I believe we'll take the win in week 2. Week 3, I do think we lose to the Panthers like we always do. We always find a way to slip up against the Panthers. I have no idea why. They always have our number, though, at least once a year. Then week 4, in London against the Vikings. I do see us taking that game in London. Marshawn Lattimore versus Justin Jefferson will be a great matchup. But Kirk Cousins as the quarterback, I still don't have a lot of faith in Kirk Cousins. I never really have. I believe that will be the deciding factor of this game. Seahawks week 5, I do see us coming out slow in that game, but still winning. Coming off of a London game and not having a bye week, that will be tough for the team. Week 6 against the Bengals, I do see us losing that game. The Bengals are probably going to start the season off hot. They want to get back to that Super Bowl team, and they do have a legit chance to do that. Cardinals, I do see us winning that game. That one, I can actually go either way. So I do see us winning. Like I said, Kyler and D-Hop, the addition of Marquise Brown will also help that team out. Against the Raiders, I do see us. That one can go either way. I do see us winning, however. Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, that whole offense is good. The Raiders defense is a little sketch to me, though, so that's why I see us winning. Week 9 against the Ravens, I do see us losing that game. There's always a few games where we should win that we don't normally win, like such as last year against the Giants, against the Panthers the first time around. So I do think we slip up, we get a little ahead of ourselves, and the Ravens do take that win. Steelers, they don't know what's going on with their quarterback room right now. I do see us winning that game. Rams, that's a loss. The Super Bowl defending champs. That team is just too good. I do have the Rams going back to the Super Bowl, so that will always be a tough one against the Niners. I do see us barely closing that one out. The last few times we've played the Niners, they've been tough to beat. So Debo just got a new contract. I do have faith in Trey Lance that he'll come in and do great things. So I do think we win that one. Buccaneers again in week 13. Like I said, we do lose this one. We've somehow always managed to beat the Bucs in the regular season. I think that they will get one up on us this time. Okay, going to a bye, our week 14. Week 15, come out against Atlanta again. I do think we take that one. It's been a while since we've actually swept Atlanta in the series. Coming off against the Browns, Deshaun Watson just got his 6-game suspension today. At the time I'm recording this. So, Browns come out, Deshaun Watson is there. I do think we end up winning this game by a slight margin. I don't see us blowing this team out by any means. But like I said, this is also another game that can go either way. Against the Eagles, this game can also go either way, but I do think we end up losing this game against the Eagles. We can't beat the Eagles for anything. The past few years we've played this team, we can't stop them. Whether it be Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts, we can't stop this team. And to close out the season, week 18 against the Panthers, I do see us winning this game to close out. And hopefully, this will be enough to get us into the postseason. So for the final record predictions, the ceiling for this Saints team is 11-6. Realistically speaking, I see the team going 10-7 or 9-8, losing a little bit of close games that can go either way, maybe to the Raiders, to the Browns, maybe the Ravens, the Vikings could even sneak one on us. But I believe the floor would be 8-9, missing the playoffs at 8-9. But honestly, I don't think that will happen to this team. Like I said, realistically, I believe a 10-7 season or even another 9-8 season is in order. But I do believe that the team can go even farther than that and maybe do hit 11 wins and only 6 losses on the year, get us into the postseason, maybe even win the division for us. But like I said, it will be hard against that Buccaneers team to get this division crown back. I do see this team being able to compete, though. Now, let's move on to the clear-cut favorite to win the NFC South, and that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Whenever you have Tom Brady running your offense and basically calling the plays, you're bound to be favorites for the Super Bowl every single year. And so this year, the Bucs, have a great chance to win the division, only having to really worry about the New Orleans Saints for that spot. I still do think the Bucs take the division. But, with Brady retiring, then unretiring, kind of, we weren't surprised by it. But, as soon as Brady retired, the Bucks odds dropped drastically. Then once he unretired, they shot back up. Because like I said, when you have Brady running your offense, you're always going to be a clear-cut favorite for a Super Bowl. So, and I do believe, bringing back Chris Godwin will help this team. He's a great athlete. We don't know if he'll be ready by the time the season starts, coming off an ACL tear. Maybe hopefully he will be ready to go for that team. It'd be a lot easier for them once he is ready. But, having a receiver like Mike Evans, who's never had under 1,000 yards receiving in a season since entering the league in 2014, that's pretty great. That's a great receiver. I believe Mike Evans is a top 10 receiver. I know it hurts me to say this as a Saints fan, but I have to be realistic. And then with the addition of Julio Jones, that you're just giving Tom Brady more weapons to choose from, especially when Chris Godwin comes back. Mike Evans playing the one. You can put Chris Godwin in the slot because he can also play slot. And you can have Julio out on the other side facing whoever their corner 2 is. But do you really trust your corner 2 or corner 3 to guard Julio or Chris Godwin? Some teams, yes. Some teams have those 3 corners that can probably do that. But there are so many teams that don't even have a realistic corner 1. So just imagine how tedious and tiring it would be to play that Bucs offense, especially with Leonard Fournette. All the rumors about his weight. I don't believe it's true. He already tweeted out he'd be ready to see y'all week 1. So this Bucs offense it didn't improve as much, but it definitely improved. They definitely didn't regress in any way, shape, or form. Now, with the defense, on the other hand, we can make the argument that, their secondary is a little sketchy. Having Vita Vea, a top 5, not even top 5, maybe top 10 defensive tackle, in the middle, he can disrupt a lot of plays. He's a big guy, can stop the run, rush the passer. He's fast for a big man. I do believe losing Ndamukong Suh will hurt a little bit, but in the end, that Bucs front 7 is kind of tedious when it comes to rushing the passer. They can get in the backfield quick, especially with Devin White. He's super fast linebacker. He can play coverage. He can blitz easily. He can stop the run. Get in the backfield fast. He's a great athlete. Levante David leading this defense. He's been there for a while. He knows the in and outs of every team they've played. He can make, he's a great play caller on that defense. He can get stuff done. However, the only spot that bothers me about this team is the secondary. Because when you're relying on Carlton Davis and Sean Murphy wanting to be your corners 1 and 2, it's, they're not the greatest corners in the league, but they are some good corners. Obviously the Bucs have a lot of faith in them. Instead of going out to get new corners, they're going to put their trust in Sean Murphy Bunting and Carlton Davis, and they have produced before. Obviously, that Super Bowl winning year back in 2020, they were, that Super Bowl, they were, basically making the Chiefs receivers look non-existent. It also didn't help that Patrick Mahomes didn't have enough time to throw the ball with his offensive line. But when you take away, the first read, and like I said, Mike Edwards and Antoine Winfield Jr. in the back, the defense doesn't stand out the way, other defenses stand out, such as, maybe the Rams defense, the Saints defense, even the Packers defense. But, the secondaries don't stand out, but they are really, really good players. I see them doing great things yet again this year. Like I've said before, having Tom Brady on your team makes things a whole lot easier. And this team is going to end up making a deep playoff run again. I see this team possibly hitting the NFC Championship, competing with the Rams yet again in the playoffs, see who advances, just as last year. But it's, like I said, a Tom Brady-led team, you're always going to be a clear-cut favorite to move on, win your division, and at least win 13, 14 games in a season. Now, looking at the Buccaneers' schedule, Week 1, they open up against the Cowboys. Clear-cut win, easy. I don't think the Cowboys... We all know the Cowboys like to start slow beginning weeks, especially against the Buccaneers. So Bucs take game 1. Against the Saints, I had said in the Saints portion of this video, Saints will take this win in Week 2. Week 3, against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, it just seems like Tom Brady has Aaron Rodgers' number, and Aaron Rodgers can never get the upper hand on Brady. So I do see the Bucks winning this Week 3 game. Week 4 against the Chiefs, a rematch from that Super Bowl a few years ago. I do see the Bucks winning this game as well. I don't think Pat Mahomes gets the upper hand on Brady again. Week 5 against the Atlanta Falcons, easy win. Buccaneers always beat the Falcons pretty easily. Week 6 against the Steelers, another easy win. Like I said in the previous video, Saints portion, Steelers don't have everything quite figured out yet. Week 7 against the Panthers, it's another win. No need to really explain it. Week 8 against the Ravens, I do see the Ravens slightly pulling this game off by a small margin. I do feel like this game could go either way, but I do see the Bucks end up dropping this game. Week 9 against the Rams, I do see the Rams taking this win over the Bucks. It'd be a great game again, just how it was in the playoffs, but I do see the Rams taking this. Seahawks, Week 10, easy win for the Bucks, yes again. Going into the bye, Week 11, coming back out, playing the Browns, Week 12, I do see the Bucks dropping this game as well. It can go either way, but there was a few games last year that the Bucks dropped that they should have won. For instance, the Saints, I don't remember what week it was, but when the Saints won 9-0, Bucks should have easily won that game. Last year against Washington, the Bucks also should have won that game. And so they have their times where they drop a game or two that they should win. I do believe the Browns would be one of them this year. Coming back to Week 13 against the Saints, I did say the Bucks win this game. Week 14 against the Niners, I do see the Bucks also win this game. Brady against rookie QBs, he's played pretty well. I do have faith in Trey Lance, but I feel like the Bucks take this one easily. The Bengals, I do see the Bengals winning this game by a small margin as well. This Bengals team will come out red hot all season. Week 16 against the Cardinals, I do see Brady and the Bucks winning this game pretty easily. Around this time, the Cardinals like to struggle. Near the end of the season, the Cardinals tend to struggle a little bit. And then you end the season with Week 17 at Carolina and Week 18 against the Falcons. Nothing to really say. Those are easy wins for this team. And this is looking like another deep postseason run by Brady and the Bucks. Now the ceiling record for this Bucks team, I would like to say 13-4. Easily winning the division, taking it once more, getting that top seed. Realistically, I do see this team going 12-5 though. Like I said, there are a few games they end up dropping in the year that should be easy wins for them, but somehow they manage to end up losing in the end. And the blame can always go back and forth. Coaching staff, Brady, defense. There are a few games they'll end up dropping, especially with harder opponents this year than last year. But I don't see this team going below 11 wins. I said that's their floor. Their floor is 11 wins. There's no way this team drops below 11, not even 10 wins. It's pretty hard to imagine this Bucks team dropping that many games. But like I said, this team will make another deep postseason run and win this division. Not easily, but they will take it by 1 or 2 games. Moving on to the next team, we have the Carolina Panthers, a team that... Well, they don't really know who they are right now, honestly. That's to put it simply. This team has a lot of question marks around it, and that's mostly regarding the head coaching in Matt Rule. I understand that it takes a while to build, a great team, and it does. It doesn't happen overnight. You can't just come in day one and expect to be great with a new head coach, new staff, and whatever not. But Matt Rule is just He tries to play it off as, it takes 7 years, especially with the Jay-Z quote, it takes 7 years. Jay-Z did it in 7. You don't have 7 years as a head coach. If you can't come in the first few years and produce and at least the bare minimum, at least getting to the playoffs and maybe being a one and done, then okay, you can keep your job. But you haven't shown us anything that pertains to you building good for 7 years. Now I get it, a lot of QB controversy, especially now that the Panthers did get Baker Mayfield. Sam Darnold played decent the first 3 weeks last year, going 3-0. And then, of course, this team likes to fall off a cliff every time they start doing good. And then also with the draft edition of Matt Corral, it's just where does this team what does this team think it's doing? Like, where do they want to go? What is the direction they want to go in? And that's just a question that nobody can answer right now. Like, I get it. Like I said, it takes a while to build a great football franchise in this league. It's not for the faint of heart. But when you're going, 3-0 to start the year, 5-0 sometimes to start the year, and then falling off a cliff and end up going 11-6, like, that's not that's not good. Like, you can't start off super hot and then just fall off. And then, it does suck when your star running back can't stay healthy. Christian McCaffrey, great player, excellent player, deserves, all the respect he gets. But he hasn't played. I don't think he's played a full season since 2019, and that's a lot. That's a big struggle. You have two great receivers, not great receivers. You have two good receivers in DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, who can create separation, who are speedsters. Especially Robbie Anderson, deep threat. DJ Moore can create space, a lot of space. But who's going to get them the ball? Sam Darnold struggled last year. We see in Baker Mayfield how he struggled last year. And then you can say, his shoulder injury was holding him back. But even the year before that, he did take the Browns to the playoffs. He did get the Browns their first playoff win in 22 years. So we can just chalk it up to say maybe Baker needs a new space. Maybe he needs a new scenery. Maybe this will help him do good being in Carolina. But, and it seems like, training camp, the fans want him to be the starter off rip already week 1. So we'll see how that plays out into this season. But this defense is not really showing me anything that they can keep up, J.C. Horn is coming back from his foot injury last year. Hopefully he can stay healthy because he is a bright young star. Jeremy Chin is also another great player on this defense who I love watching, who, an amazing player. He can get, how can I say this? He can move throughout the field so fast. He can make plays when necessary. But it all just comes down to the coaching staff for me. Like, what are you going to do? And this is what all Panthers fans want. All Panthers fans want Matt Rule gone. He came in, said he'd do great things, and great things have not been done. And Panthers fans are just wondering, when will things get better? And I'm wondering the same thing for you Panthers fans. When will things get better? Hopefully never, because I am a Saints fan. But this team does have a lot of question marks. They do have a lot to figure out. And so going into the season, I guess we won't get our answers until week 1 starts. Now, looking at the schedule for the Carolina Panthers, week 1 opening up against Jacoby Brissett and the Browns. Deshaun Watson is suspended the first 6 games of the season. I believe Baker Mayfield gets the start, gets revenge on his old team for doing them dirty. Have the Panthers winning week 1. Playing New York Giants week 2. The Giants are another team that has a lot of question marks around them. I say the Panthers win this one. Week 3 against the New Orleans Saints. I said in the Saints portion, we always drop one to the Panthers. So I do think the Panthers take this one. And as they start off another season 3-0. Looking like last year. Exactly like last year. Week 4 comes around. Got the Arizona Cardinals. I do think the Panthers start to go into their slump. Their usual slump like always. I think Kyler Murray comes in, beats the brakes off the Carolina Panthers. Week 5, I think Trey Lance and the 49ers beat the Panthers. Like I said, Trey Lance will win the Niners some games. I do think this will be one of them. I'll cover Trey Lance more in the NFC West video. Week 6 against the Rams, another loss. This is the Super Bowl defending champs. This is the hardest team to beat as of right now. This team is so stacked. They're so good. And the Panthers are the Panthers. Week 7 against the Bucks. I already explained. Bucks easily take this win. Against the Falcons, week 8. Week 8. I do think the Panthers win this one. They always find a way to beat the Falcons at least once a year, just as the Saints. Week 9 against the Bengals. This is another loss. It's the Bengals. Better team. Better all-around team. Week 10 against the Falcons. I do think the Falcons take this win. They always end up splitting the series evenly, so it just depends. Week 11 against the Ravens. I do see the Ravens winning this game. Hopefully Lamar has another MVP season. I do like to see him play. I'll go more over that in the later video. Week 12 against the Broncos. I see the Panthers squeaking this one out. The Broncos haven't really shown me much, especially with of course, they did acquire Russell Wilson via trade, but the rest of the team is a real concern for me on the offense. The defensively, Broncos can, they can step up, but the offense, I don't see it. I do see the Panthers winning by a slight margin in this one. Week 14 against the Seahawks, I can see the Panthers winning this. Seahawks are also another team with a lot of question marks around them that we'll get into in a later video. Week 15 against the Steelers, I do see the Panthers dropping this one. I know I've said before the Steelers have a lot of problems going on right now with their entire team, who they want to start, who's going to be the starter in that team. But however, the Panthers are the Panthers. They're going to do Panther things, such as we saw last season, and they'll drop this game. The Lions, I do see the Lions winning this game. However, this will be an upset game for the Panthers. The Panthers will be favored in this game, I do believe, but the Lions will come out, beat the Panthers, and this is where, more controversies come in. When will Matt Rule be fired? January, and then they close off the season with the Bucs and the Saints, 2 more losses to end the year, and this team is going to end up right back where it was last season and the season before. Questions around the coaching staff. What is this team going to do to get better? Realistically speaking, for this Panthers team, their ceiling could be, a 7-10 season. I have them going 6-11 though, but it seems that their floor is a little lower, maybe 5-12. I can see it happening. Like I said, I'm gonna reiterate one more time. This team has a lot of question marks around it. You have 2 quarterbacks, 2 former first-round quarterbacks that people think this team can be washed. And looking at Sam Darnold play last year, a lot of concerns. Watching Baker Mayfield play last year, a lot of concerns. And so this team, like I said, this team doesn't have an identity right now. Now, could this team win a few more games? And I'm giving them, of course, and that goes for any team I'll cover in these next few videos. But, can your star running back stay healthy? When healthy, he's a top 2 running back in the league. I hate Christian McCaffrey, but I don't hate him. I hate people who talk about him like great, like he's still God. But if he stays healthy, he's a top 2 running back in the league. Can Baker Mayfield or Sam or whoever starts for this team be capable of winning close games like last year? When the Panthers were in close games, they couldn't get back into it. They let it slip away. Can whoever starts for this team not let the game slip away from them? Can they get Robbie Anderson the ball? Can they get DJ Moore the ball? Can the defense step up? Can Christian McCaffrey stay healthy? I said there's a lot of questions that we won't figure out till the beginning of the season, but realistically, I do believe the Panthers only go about 6-11. Now we are going to end this NFC South prediction video with the Atlanta Falcons. I definitely despise this team the most out of every team in this division. Starting off, the Falcons had a rough year last year. Matt Ryan got beat up behind that bad offensive line. The defense struggled. But now it's basically a whole new look team this year. You still keep Kyle Pitts, great rookie season last year, one of my favorite players. Cordell Patterson resigns, he balled out of his mind last year, great re-signing. But now instead of Matt Ryan, you have Marcus Mariota or Desmond Ridder. And now instead of Calvin Ridley, who, like I said, is suspended for a year for betting illegally, which is retarded and dumb. But, now you have Drake London leading this wide receiver room. And it's just a whole new look. Obviously the Falcons do have a lot of faith in Mariota for naming him starter after 1 day of training camp. So we can see how that goes. But when it comes down to it, what's going to happen when Mariota struggles maybe a game or 2 or maybe 3 games? It feels like the whole Tennessee situation will happen again, where Mariota was struggling to start off the season. So the Titans felt the need to trade for Ryan Tannehill, which worked out in their favor nonetheless. Tannehill came in, took over the starting job, and Mariota found himself on the bench and then in free agency this following offseason. He goes to the Raiders for about 2 years, takes some snaps, even starts a game or 2, but at the end of the day, he didn't seem like a real QB1. And now that he's with Atlanta sees this man as a QB1, which, of course, have faith in the people you've signed, of course. But what's going to happen when he struggles? You can just going to throw Desmond Ridder into the fray? Do you think he'll be ready? What's going to happen if Desmond Ridder struggles? So you're just going to throw Mariota back in? It's like the same situation as Carolina. These two quarterbacks are iffy, especially because one's a rookie. Of course, we don't know how he's going to play. But, I do believe Drake London is an Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate when he does play well. I believe Kyle Pitts is going to have a monster season. He's definitely going to be the go-to target for whoever starts. And, this Cordell Patterson, great backfield. He's a great backfield catcher. He can come out the backfield, run some swings, run some, wheel routes. He can catch effectively. He can line up at receiver, run routes when needed, kick returner, punt returner. He can do it all. He can even play safety. I know he was listed as safety, the third string safety on the Falcons roster last year. It's crazy. He can do it all. But it just comes down to the quarterback and also the defense. Other than A.J. Terrell, this defense isn't exciting. A.J. Terrell, has potential to be a top 5 corner. Allowing the least amount of yards in coverage last season, it's impressive. It doesn't matter who you are, what team you play for. If anybody knows you, it's impressive when you can lock down wide receivers such as that. And then, like I said, I don't really like A.J. Terrell because I believe people hype him up too much. But now I got to look at the facts, and I got to be realistic when making these videos. I can't just come on here and say because he's a Falcons player, I don't think he's this. No. But the thing is, A.J. had a monster year last year. If he can repeat that same year, I think the Falcons would be good. But the rest of this defense scares me because, what's going on with Deion Jones? Is he going to play? And the rest of the secondary, the D-line, how are we supposed to feel about it? And it's just, like I said, with the Panthers, a lot of open holes, a lot of unanswered questions with this team that we'll figure out once week 1 comes around. But it's the same thing as the Panthers. Like I said, this is a sketchy team. Now, taking a look at the Falcons' schedule, starting off against the Saints, I do see a loss. Then going to the Rams, week 2, another loss. This is an 0-2 start so far. Week 3, I think they pick it up. They beat the Seahawks in week 3. Week 4, I think the Falcons do beat the Browns. I'm not sold on Jacoby Brissett quite yet. I'm not really sold on the Browns until Deshaun Watson is able to come back and play. Week 5 against the Bucs, I already said in the Bucs portion, the Bucs take this one easily. Against the Niners, afterwards, I do see the Niners pulling this game off. The Falcons will drop this. This will be a close game, and the Falcons will end up dropping it. Then you have the Bengals, another loss. The Bengals are a great team. I love this team. Against the Panthers, right after, I do think the Falcons win this one. Like I said before, they do. The Falcons and the Panthers tend to split the series pretty evenly. Then you got the Chargers right after that. I do see Justin Herbert actually coming out and destroying this Falcons defense. Then you got the Panthers again. I see the Panthers taking this one. And like I said, 2 seconds ago, they split the series pretty evenly. Against the Bears, I do see the Falcons taking this one in a close one. I'm not sold on the Bears team quite yet. Washington, week 12, I see Washington taking this. I think Washington will have it figured out by then. Week 13 against the Steelers, I do see the Steelers winning this one. By this time every year, the Falcons tend to, get a little sloppy. They tend to lose themselves. And then the Falcons end the season with the Saints, Ravens, Cardinals, and Buccaneers. I do believe they lose all of these games to end the season. And, like I said, I think it would be another rough year for this team as a whole. So for the Falcons' final schedule prediction, realistically, I see this team going 4-13. Like I said, there's not much to look forward to other than, Drake London, Marcus Mariota, Kyle Pitts, Cordell Patterson, A.J. Terrell. Realistically, this team could win 6 games, go 6-11. That's their ceiling. Ceiling 6-11. Realistically, I see 4-13. But the floor is 2-15 for this team, honestly. I just don't see anything good about them yet. Like I said, I want to be proven wrong. I'm not always going to be right. I understand that. I'm not. But if I am right, I'm going to say I told you so. I don't expect to be right about every single team prediction I give out, though. This is just my opinion, what I've been seeing lately, and how I feel about each team. This is my complete, honest opinion. But realistically, I do see the Falcons going at least 4-13 next year. Wanted to say thank you for watching this video. I know it's a little something different. I'm not really used to doing this, but wanted to get my own predictions out there. Like I said, I wanted to do it all in one video. Found out that wasn't going to happen, so just stay tuned for the next one. I think next one will probably be the NFC South, so stay tuned. Hope you enjoy it. Like I said, all my opinion. Go shove it if you don't like it.
Blood don't make you kinfolk. Loyalty is what I send for. No half stepping, only 10 toes. Now life is at a different tempo.